That's all right. That's all right. You was there in spirit. You know, Tom, you wasn't feeling so good, but we thankful. We thankful for all of y'all and all these years putting up with my craziness and everything like that. And I'm just looking at the time. I think y'all gave me good time. That's good time. You know what I'm talking about? I could be done in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Wow. Hey, man, there's a lot of meat to unpack. You know, I'm trying to figure out which way to go with this thing. You know, 3 different sermons going through my mind, but I think we'll better work with this. Okay. So all of us, pretty much all of us here, who have any church history, background, anything, know about Zacchaeus. Know about Zacchaeus. So my ultimate job is to mess up what you know. Or what you think you know. You know what I'm talking about? Because, you know, we want a fresh lens or fresh eyes, seeing something totally different from which we haven't seen before. Right? And so we're gonna look at and try to make it relevant to our lives today, and bring some application to it. Then we can get out of here. And we can all learn together. Okay, so I'll put some music on that. Don't worry about that. Don't disturb me. We're good to go. We're good to go. All right. So Luke starts off.
Jerry.
That's why I turned my phone off in church. I had all my notes. I told Jerry this morning. I had all my notes in my phone, right? And I said, I'm going to transfer it over to my iPad. Because I know if I keep that phone on, right? I said, I know if I keep that phone on, what's going to happen? People know you go to church. You're in church, you're going to church. What are you doing? Where you at?
Like you don't know.
I'm in church. I'll get on Jared for a couple weeks on that, boy. That's all right. It happens. Only in church. 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 So there's several things probably you want, if you have a highlighter or stuff like that, if you have that stuff, you like to take notes and all that good stuff. There's a lot of stuff that perhaps you wanna highlight. So Luke begins as saying that Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. And that's very, very significant, very important, because first of all, Luke wants to know that Jesus don't have any intentions of staying in Jericho. And there's several reasons why Jesus don't want to stay in Jericho. I don't know if y'all familiar with Jericho or not, but Jericho was a very dangerous place. Very dangerous place. Very dangerous place. You remember why he used the parable of the Good Samaritan and getting robbed and stuff like that? I mean, before the inner cities said stick-up boys, the original stick-up boys was in Jericho. The original stick-up boys. Because you had to go down this cliff and they'd be hiding in these places that you couldn't see them. And they wait till you go down there and take everything you have. And then, they call it, the road of blood, the way of blood, because it was a lot of bloodshed. Because when you're going down to Jericho, something's going to go down. Right? And one thing the Jews would do, they would try to avoid going to Jericho. Everybody tried to avoid going to Jericho. Because Jericho was a very dangerous place, a very dangerous environment where people there had to survive. They didn't have everything that the surrounding towns had and stuff like that. And so they seen the way of getting was to take from other individuals. But instead of Jesus going to another route, Jesus went through Jericho. Right. And I always joke and say that that Jesus was from the hood, but it only takes another person to understand or not navigate to be able to go there. I'm trying to teach y'all something different than looking at this thing. He's from the hood. He's from Nazareth. He's from that type of environment, right? And now he's going to another environment like that, but he knows how to navigate that thing. So now Jesus has no intention to stay in Jericho. And so now Jesus entered Jericho, and Luke wants to know that when he got to Jericho, there was a man who lived in Jericho named Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus lived in Jericho. I want to stop because I want to make a couple points so I can make sense of my perfect text. Now, he didn't come from the burbs.
Right.
Zacchaeus from the hood. Oh, Zach. I call him Zach. Now, Zach, I had to give him a hood name. Zach. Zach was from the hood. He was from the place where they robbed, cheat, lied, do everything to be able to survive. It wasn't like that. He moved to Jericho. He lived in Jericho. Luke was very descriptive, right? Because he's a doctor. He wanted to let us know, it's important to let us know where Zacchaeus is from. Not only did he tell us where Zacchaeus is from, he tells a lot about Zacchaeus by telling what his name is. All right. You know, and so the Jews named their kids after what they expect them to be. Mm-hmm. Now I found it interesting, you know what I'm talking about? So I went to look up, what do Zacchaeus mean? I know I thought Zacchaeus' name would mean, you know, cheat, liar, hustler. Anything you can name that was bad. But his name means clean and pure. Zacchaeus' name means clear and pure. So that means that when Zacchaeus was born, his father called him clean and pure. His expectations of Zacchaeus was to live up to be a clean and pure young man. But he turned out to be totally opposite what his parents expect him to be. Isn't that something even in our lives? That we can become a victim of our environment. Even though our parents want us to be something, and we turn out to be something totally different what our parents want us to be. You can put them in Ivy League schools, border schools. The best education possible, give them the best values and morals possible, and they turn out to be contrary to what we expect. Zacchaeus was a chief, Luke says, of the publicans. And he was rich. What did Zacchaeus have? Zacchaeus had power. That means influence. He had power. He had influence. He had prestige. He had position. And he had prosperity. Look what the text says. Luke said he had all four of those things. Luke says he had all four of those things. He said Zacchaeus was a publican, a chief of the publican, and he was rich. He said he had power, position, prestige, and prosperity. Mm-hmm. This man had everything that we called the American dream. But the problem is how he attained it.
That's right.
It was in Jericho.
That's right.
He had to cheat, lie, to get everything that he had. The power that he had, the prestige that he had, the position that he had, and the wealth that he had. It came from cheating, lying, stealing to get what he had. He knew that if he's going to keep it, he got to continue. Now, he's not a little guy. He's not a little guy up in the operation in the publicans. No. He's over control over all that. Now look what the text says. And he saw to see Jesus who he was and could not for the press because he was little of stature. With all the power, all the position he had, all the prestige that he had, and all the money he had, he ran into a dilemma. He ran into a situation in which his money couldn't help him. His power couldn't help him. His position couldn't help him. His prestige could not help him. Brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you that in this life, you're going to run into a dilemma that how you used to do things will never be able to help you. Zacchaeus ran into an obstacle in his life that everything that he built it around could not help him. It could not help him. It could not help him because the Bible said that Zacchaeus was little of stature and he wanted to see Jesus. He couldn't see Jesus because the crowd was too massive or too big for Zacchaeus to look around. Zacchaeus, in his life, was a defining moment. In his life where he realized that it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do about this situation because I cannot see over the crowd. Zacchaeus realized, and Luke wants us to know that Zacchaeus has limitations. He has a limitation. He has a limitation. He has a defect. Despite all that Zacchaeus has, he has limitations. He has a problem now. That he wants to see Jesus, but he can't see Jesus. Have you ever been in a position that you wanted something? You wanted something, but you don't have everything it takes to be able to get it? Zacchaeus had the want, but he felt himself limited, having obstacles and challenges. I realize even in our lives, when we want something, it's going to come with challenges. It's going to come with obstacles. It's going to come with roadblocks in our lives. It's what you do, when the roadblocks and the dilemmas come in our lives. Because all of us going to face some of those things. Because all of us here has limitations. We can hide behind our good jobs. We can hide behind our education. We can hide behind it. But at the end of the day, we all have limitations. Now, if we peel back some stuff, and we can really look at the individual, I guaranteed you can find some defects. Let me help you. I feel like a teacher moment. Now I got another 30 minutes to say I can tell him when it went from preaching to teaching. I can tell, right? And so Naaman had power, prestige, position, and wealth. But under all that armor, he was a leper. He was a leper. It was a leper. That means that you can be prosperous, successful, and still have shortcomings. We always think that individuals who don't have much and this and that have all the shortcomings, but the scripture's showing us that you can have everything that the world said you have, and it looked like you had everything together, and you still have some shortcomings.
That's it.
You still have some shortcomings. You still have some shortcomings. Look at that. Zacchaeus had some shortcomings in his life. And now he's run into an obstacle, and now got to figure out, how do I overcome my limitation and obstacle that life has thrown me? Brothers and sisters, you can want it all you want, but life can throw you a curveball. Like I'm talking about curveball. When you're not expecting, wouldn't it be nice if that Jesus would told Zacchaeus, I know you really want to see me, Zach.
That's it.
But the crowd is preventing you from what you want. And then your limitations, short of stature, you're talking about, You know, he was challenged. You know, we would call him back in the days. You know, we call him, go shorty.
That's right, that's right.
I'll be nice because he recorded. Shorty.
That's right.
He couldn't see past the crowd. What did Zach do? The Bible says, instead of him giving up, instead of him saying, woe is me, instead of him talking about, I wish I don't have, I'm not 6'5",
Right.
6'6", huh? I'm not as smart as somebody else. He didn't say all that. He did something about it.
Yes.
He did something about it. He did something about it. And that's what God wanted to say. Even though you had limitations in your life, God wants you to do something about it.
Amen. Amen.
And what I realized from people in the world, we talk about how people in the world, a Bible says that are more wise than the people alike. I think so. Because the first thing we would do is say, oh, Jesus,
Yeah.
you know I'm short of stature.
Yes.
You know I have limitations. Can you remove these barriers from me?
Right, right.
Pray about it.
God gives you the ability to do something
Amen.
about it. Yes, I love prayer. Yeah, I love prayer. Yeah, I love that. But we put everything always back on Jesus.
Amen. You gotta do something.
Zacchaeus wasn't born again yet, but he did something about it. What Zacchaeus did, Zacchaeus reigned. Right? He anticipated where Jesus would be. But take what Zacchaeus did. Zacchaeus used his wits that he learned in Jericho to get what he's wanted
Amen.
to get
Amen.
in the first place.
Yeah.
His want was, I want to see Jesus. And whatever it takes.
All right now. All right.
See, you say you want it.
All right.
How many people? They said, no, you heard me say, you say you want it.
Yeah.
But are you willing to do everything necessary to get
Yes.
what you say you want? How many people you know talk about, yeah, I want it, but not willing to do what it takes
All right.
to get it?
Right.
Zacchaeus shows us something about his life. He's showing us that he's willing to do whatever it takes to see Jesus. I'm not going to let my limitations stop me.
Right.
I don't let no obstacle stop me.
That's right.
I'm going to do whatever it takes to see Jesus.
That's right.
The Bible said that Zacchaeus ran. He climbed up a tree, a sycamore. Come on, I want you to listen to this. Didn't I paint it? I want to paint this picture so you can really see this.
Amen.
Here this man with all this power,
Yeah.
all this prestige, position, and wealth,
That's right.
gonna climb
That's right.
up a tree. Willing to look ridiculous.
Yeah.
And some of y'all don't have nothing
Right.
and just deep indignified. Y'all, I'm gonna hit y'all this morning, I'm gonna hit y'all this morning. But I'm all right. I'm not talking about you got a man who has everything.
Yes. Yes.
But he had a want. His want was greater than worried about what everybody else think about him.
Yeah.
That's our problem.
That's right. Come on.
Your want is not big enough yet. You want to be able to change. You want to be able to see Jesus. It's not really there yet.
Right. Come on.
You're worried about every external thing.
Yeah.
What people gonna say about you.
All right.
I don't look.
But Zach said, no. I want to see Jesus. You notice that? He didn't want to see the crowd.
No.
He didn't want to see the disciples. There was a lot of other people there that day, but he did not want to see none of them. He wanted to see Jesus for who he was.
Amen.
Yes.
He didn't want no miracle from Jesus. You know that most people who have money, prestige, and power ain't looking for no miracle. He had all that, but something was missing
Yes.
out of Zach's life that make him have a want to see Jesus
Amen.
for who he is. He wanted to see the real, authentic thing. He wanted to see Jesus. And any time that you want the real thing,
Come on.
the enemy will put blocks,
That's right. That's right.
obstacles, walls in your life. What are you going to do? Zach says, I may can't see him the way that everybody else can see him.
All right.
Is there another way that I can see him despite my limitations? See what happened to us in life? That people tell us it's only one way to be able to get things done.
That's it.
What will happen, y'all? It's the guy who had a buddy of the guy who was paralytic with his 4 friends.
Yes.
They had a want.
Mm-hmm.
They had a real want
Yes, he did.
to get there, his buddy to see Jesus.
Right.
He gets there. It's a packed house.
Yeah.
It's a packed house.
Figured it out.
What did they do?
Figured it out.
What did I do? They realized that there was another way. Went on top of that roof,
That's it.
tore it up,
Lord up.
That's it.
and laid him down.
That's right. You can see him in.
Put him right on down, put him right on down, put him right on down, because they had a want.
Yeah.
See, when you have a real want, nothing will stop you from doing what needs to be done.
Yes. Glory to God.
That's right.
You have a real want, you'll cut friends loose, there's no good for you.
That's right.
Oh, y'all messed my sermon up because it was called Define the Moment at first, but y'all messed it up. You know what I'm talking about? You messed it up. But the real thing is that when I wanted to stop doing what I was doing,
Yes.
I changed some things.
All right. Amen.
You see what I'm talking about? When I really wanted. I ain't talking about just talking.
Yeah.
No, I wanted it. And I wanted it bad.
You wanted it bad.
I wanted it bad. I wanted it bad. So Zacchaeus seen that it was another way to be able to get what he wanted. So he ran and climbed up the sycamore tree. So the sycamore tree was big enough. It was, it was tall and had these big leaves and everything like that. So it was big enough to handle someone his size. It was big enough to be able to do it. He had foresight. He had vision. He knew. He anticipated where Jesus, which way. Look, he was looking at it and figured out and making a plan.
Which way you come?
Huh? You see what I'm talking about? He planned this thing out. He planned this thing out. He's saying that I'm going to beat the crowd. You see what I'm talking about? No wonder he had what he had with his limitation that he had. He knew how to scheme. He knew how to plan. He knew how to do all these things. And he said, okay, I can't something about. They're gonna let he know the crowd ain't gonna let him say, this crowd will say, I know you a midget.
Right.
I know you had limitations, kids. Now he done did something wrong anyway, so you ain't that ain't about to happen. That ain't about to happen. I'm talking about people in the world, they know you got limitations, you think they're gonna be nice to you, say, okay, it's your turn, you see you. Don't work like that.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Zacchaeus said, forget all that. I'm making a plan. I'm going to go see.
Amen.
I'm going to climb up in this tree. I don't care how ridiculous I look. But you see what? Zacchaeus was willing to do what some of us is not willing to do. See the separation? He was willing to do what most people are not willing to do, who don't have the same limitations
All right, there you go.
that he had.
Yeah.
The crowd wasn't willing to do all that because they didn't have the same want that Zacchaeus had. They wanted the miracle because they seen what happened to blind Bartimaeus.
Right.
But Zacchaeus didn't need or want no miracles. He said, I just want to see Jesus.
Amen.
I just want to see Jesus. Don't even make a difference if I don't even get close to Jesus. I just want to see him. Zacchaeus said, all I want to do is to see Jesus. And the scripture said that Zach climbed up the sycamore tree, and Jesus went past the sycamore, walking past the sycamore tree. Let me just put it right for you all. It says that, and when he says that, and he ran before and climbed up the sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way. The scripture says when Jesus came to the place, what place? Come on now, help me out now. I can preach or teach, you gotta help me. Right? The place, right there, at the sycamore tree, right there he was at. Look what he said to him. He looked up. Now that's no coincidence right there. He looked up. He looked up, right? And he saw him.
Yeah.
And look what he said to him. Zach! Look, he knew him by his name. He says, Zacchaeus, make haste. Or he says, hurry. He says, for today, right? Make haste and come down. For today I must abide at their house. Remember I told you earlier? What was Jesus' initial plan? Was not to stay. Thank you, Lasagna. I told y'all when I first started. Wow, you know, I'm going to set y'all up and tell y'all what was going on. So you listen, they got to teach this 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes. I tried to set them up. I tried to set them up to tell you that what Luke said. Luke said his intention was not to stay in Jericho. It was Zacchaeus' want that made him stay. It was Zacchaeus' want. He told Zacchaeus, come on down here. Come immediately. Come on down here. Come down here because I need to abide in your house.
Amen.
That was a date for destiny. Nothing just happened by coincidence. It don't happen. It don't happen by no, it don't. It's providence. It's providence. Because see what happened when you do something? Jesus met him right there. Right where he at. Told Zacchaeus, come on down. And look what he did. He invited himself. To Zach's house. He said, I have to buy in your house. Now look what Zach says. I only got 10 minutes. Look what he said. He says, and he made haste.
That's right.
Came down, received him joyfully. He came down with haste. Came down and received him joyfully. See how Jesus embraced him? He knew who Zach is. But Zach was not living up to who he was. See, Jesus sees the best in us.
Amen.
Well, others sees the worst in us. He know what Zach could be. But a lot of people are not living up what they could be. And that's what happened in Zach's life. Now look what he said. Now look what he says. And look, listen, here we go. And when they saw it, you know what we're talking about right now? They all murmured. That crowd?
They got mad.
Yeah. They didn't like that.
Said that he was gone to be a guest with a man that is a sinner.
We felt wrong, yeah. Folks out there want these miracles.
Other sinners calling him a sinner. But we said we want to categorize what sin is. You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? And that's a hypocrite. Go call another hypocrite. I don't want to go to church because they all hypocrites. But you're a hypocrite.
Amen.
See how we do stuff? See how we see other people different than we see ourselves, right? You know what I'm talking about? Now they hate those Zach. Because you know why they hate them? Because he want to change. You see what I'm talking about? You're talking about Zach want to change. And they want to remind him who he is.
Right.
And then Jesus don't know Zacchaeus is a sinner. And he don't know his position, power, seat, and what he has. You know what I'm talking about? They got to know Jesus ain't even talking to him. You know what I'm talking about? Jesus talking to Zach, not the crowd. The crowd said, nah. I'm going to let Jesus, just in case you don't know.
Right.
This man right here, he's a sinner.
He's a Republican.
Don't you know that he cheated us out of our money? Oh, Zach, talking about, you know him to call 25 cents and give me 50.
Right. And I helped out.
You know what I'm talking about? Gave the Romans their cut and he took all the rest. They see him as a traitor because now he worked for Rome.
Right.
Huh? He did everything wrong. He did him wrong. He did wrong. That's how he made his money, doing wrong. Right? Now they murmured to Jesus and said that you're going to be a guest. That's what I love about Jesus.
Amen.
He ain't worried about other people's opinions.
Right.
Amen.
He ain't worried about other people's opinions.
Amen.
He want to mess up all his reputations.
That is.
See, I'm proud we worry about other people. Worry about our rep. We talking about who we hang with, tell them how we do. There's no freedom in that. There's no freedom. Jesus didn't care what the crowd was talking about. Why you care about people who really don't care about you?
Right. Amen.
There's nobody in that crowd wanted to see Jesus as much as Zacchaeus wanted to see him.
Right.
And the people in the crowd wanted something from him different than what Zacchaeus wanted.
Yeah.
Most times people hanging around you, got it. I mean, you got it. They want something, and the real people who don't want anything but be in your company.
Yeah. That's right.
They're the ones that talk the most. The crowd.
Yeah.
You shouldn't hang around that person.
Yeah.
They're going to snitch on Jesus. And all the Coldest Street, everything in Jericho, all out. All out. But no, he's a sinner. And Jesus said, yeah, Jesus, yeah, you're going to be a guest. Are you going to be a guest of sinner? Yes, he is. That was the Pharisees, Sadducees, religious folks, church folks. Was a problem with them days. They wouldn't go into people's houses like that. They wouldn't minister to people like Zacchaeus. So Jesus is showing something on text through Luke is that it's not always the down and outers that need him. It's everybody who need him. Jesus just didn't call those who was broken, those who had no education and all this stuff. But sometimes they don't think that we're intelligent as Christians and all this stuff. That's incorrect. He shows it. In Nicodemus' life and all the rest of them, we can just name all the people who have power, prestige, and everything else. Realizing that they needed something. Okay, I got two more. Get y'all out of here. It says, and Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord. You see what he did? You know, I'm telling you what Zacchaeus did. He didn't pay no mind to him. You talking about? He stood. He didn't pay no mind to him. Y'all can mumble. Y'all can talk about. Y'all can say whatever you want. You're gonna be a guest with a sinner. But the Bible says Zacchaeus stood and he had a conversation.
Amen.
Like they wasn't even there.
Amen.
Now, can you imagine the whole crowd? Oh, you see the Bible say all of them.
Yeah.
All that noise, all that, you know what that is? Called distraction. You try to discourage you. You see what I'm talking about? That's what you, all that chatter, all that noise, all that stuff you're talking about. He turned all that out. Because he got now what he wanted. When you get what you want, all distraction, all the noise, well, turn it out. He got what he wanted. And look what Zach said. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, O Master, behold, Lord. Look what he said. The half of my goods, I'll give it to the poor.
Amen.
Come on now, Zach.
Amen.
You teaching us something.
Mm-hmm.
You, Zach? You can have it out. Robert, taking from people and everything. Zacchaeus says, the half that I have, I'm going to give to the poor. Now listen, this is true transformation.
Amen. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, this is the truth now.
Yeah.
He's saying that all the stuff that he accumulated,
Yes. Get away. Get away.
he said, I'm going to give it to the less fortunate. I'm going to give to people who can't give me anything back. That's a different. That's a different than the rich young ruler, right? When Jesus told him give it up, he said, no, I want to be that saved. He had one. See what I'm talking about? He went through everything, all the routines, everything like we do. But he had the one that Zacchaeus had. The rich young ruler ran out there, did worship, said all this thing. Then when it came down to it, he said one thing missing, sell what you have, give it to the poor. The church finger did like we did.
No.
He had a real one. And we just talk for show.
Yes.
But this wasn't for show right here. Not what you take 50%, half of what you have, and you give it to the poor without Jesus even saying the word.
Okay.
That's how you know true transformation. And look what he did. He didn't do Romans 10 and 9. Y'all confess that mouth in the heart. He didn't do all that.
Yeah.
His heart was changed. His heart became pure and clean. When he finally had that encounter with Jesus, Zacchaeus is now becoming what his mother and father named him.
That's right. That's right.
For him to have a pure and clean heart.
Yes. Yes.
Only Jesus
That's right. Amen. Amen.
can make you out to be who you were designed to be. He said one more thing, brother. Give you another one.
Thank
Get
you.
y'all
Thank you.
out of here.
Thank
He said, if I take anything, and yeah, I did, from any man
you. Yes. That's what he said.
by false accusation,
Yes.
I restore him.
Fourfold.
Not one-fold, not two-fold, not three-fold. Fourfold.
Restitution. He said, if I did anybody dirt, so you can understand, did them wrong, cheated them out of what they had. Now, if I'm giving, now check this out. If I'm giving this much to the poor, then I'm really give this much.
Everything.
Everything else.
That's right.
How much do I have left?
There's nothing left.
Listen, when he found Jesus,
Hmm.
listen, he didn't need nothing.
That's right. Amen.
See that power?
Amen. There it
See what I'm
is.
talking about? That
There
power?
it is. There it is.
That position?
Mhm.
That prestige? Prestige? And that prosperity?
Mhm.
Didn't mean nothing. He was doing all he was doing anyway. For those 4 things. And like you know what we do?
All right.
We just want those 4 things.
Yes, yes.
Our whole identity is wrapped around those 4 things. We go to school, we do this, work hard, we do all this, because we want these 4
Yes. Yes.
things. But as our kids will tell us this morning, these 4 things don't mean nothing
All right.
if you don't have Jesus.
Come on.
Mm.
Amen.
These 4 things that the world is going after, and we try to climb the corporate ladder, we try to do all these things.
Yeah.
Zacchaeus said, I've been there. I've done that. I have the t-shirt. But it didn't mean anything. If I gotta lose everything,
All right.
I'm willing to lose it to have Jesus. He's telling us something. He's telling us something. Materialistic stuff don't mean a thing.
Yes. Yes.
Now here's this man who has everything that the world says is successful.
Hmm.
He says, I'm willing to give almost all of it away. I'm willing to walk away from that very thing.
Mhm.
True transformation.
Yes, indeed.
Because he had a woman. And it started right at the sycamore tree. It was right at the sycamore tree that he could testify and say, my life changed.
Amen.
I met Jesus in that defining moment at the sycamore tree. My life changed. All of us should be able to look back at the defining moment of life what causes us to change. It was that dilemma in Zacchaeus' life when he realized he had a limitation that nothing else can purchase that changed his life. All of us had a defining moment in our life that caused us to say yes to Jesus.
That's right.
All of us. I could tell it was in my living room. I can go back 17, 18 years ago and I still can tell you from my experience what it was like.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
The Roman soldier would say it was at the cross. Huh? Moses would say it was at the bush.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jacob said when I wrestled with the angel. You see what I'm talking about? Zacchaeus said it was in the wine press. They can tell you that testimony when they had the defining moment with Jesus, when it transformed and changed their lives. Zacchaeus said, I'll give a half and I'll give 4-fold. I'll restore. That means that the very thing that was broken, you know what restore
All right,
means?
come on,
It's
come
like
on.
it's restore means
Come on.
that like a broken leg that you put back in alignment. He said the broken, the things that I broke out of people's lives.
Mhm.
If I take it from them,
Amen.
I'm going to put it back.
Amen.
Because he had the power, the prestige, the position to be able to do it.
That's right.
He said, now I'm going to use my power.
Come on.
See
Come on.
now?
That's right.
Everything that he did that was crooked,
Something good.
I'm going to use the influence now that I have to affect the life of the poor.
Yes. Yes.
God did not give you what you have. The power, the prestige, right? The position, the money.
Yeah.
Not to use it
All right. Come on.
for good. Look what he did. Look what he did. Look what he did with it. He took that, how he got it crooked. And now he's going straight. There's some people talking about, Pastor, I can't go straight. You see Zach?
All right, man.
Yes.
You can.
He's out going straight.
That's right.
I ain't gonna hustle no more.
All right.
I ain't gonna sell no more.
All right.
I'm going straight.
Amen. Amen.
He went straight. Did he go straight? Come on, help me out. Now, I said I got 5.
Yeah.
Help me now. I can squeeze all the lemon out the lemonade. You gotta help me now so I can go along with it. Right? Yes, I tell you, I'm gonna give a different twist to look at this thing, right? He's in an environment where trickery and all that stuff is at. Zacchaeus now is going straight. He's from Jericho.
Yes.
I'm going straight. The text says it. I'm giving to the poor. Fourfold. For all those I did wrong to. There ain't nobody out in the crowd saying,
The big one do that.
she said all that talking they were doing. See, I'm talking about all the money they were doing. They were like, you crazy. He's stupid. You think I'm going? You think I'm gonna go here and everything that I worked hard for? To give it up? No. I see people in church the same way. People come in here and tell their testimony and tell them what they do. Talk about. Shit, I ain't gonna tell all my business. I ain't gonna tell them all that. Well, Zach wanna shame. Zach knew he got people. And we're sitting right here. We always got somebody. We all got somebody.
Right.
Oh, the little Jesus in the house. I call him little Jesus right now. They ain't get nobody.
Yeah.
Now Zach knew. You bring it up there and say, Zach, what you did? Zach said, I'm gonna do it. And last, this is what Jesus said. He came to seek and save
Amen.
that which was lost. But before that, I got one more. This is, and Jesus said to them, this day, listen, is salvation come to this house, for as much as he is the son of Abraham. Listen. Zacchaeus had a covenant that he never tapped into. Could it be because how we living and doing stuff? Don't understand that we have a covenant that we never tapped into?
Yes.
Zacchaeus is the son of Abraham, a descendant
That's right.
of Abraham.
That's right.
And he never tapped into all the benefits
Wow.
That inheritance.
Wow.
of being a part
That's something.
of Abraham. And Jesus says to Zacchaeus, salvation, deliverance. Deliverance from what, Zacchaeus? From everything that you thought
Yeah.
that made you.
That's right. That's right.
Everything you thought that made you. You know what made Paul so powerful? 3 minutes. That he said all that he accumulated in life was dumb. Pharisee to Pharisee. Of the tribe of Benjamin. Study under Gamaliel. He had it all, but he said, doesn't mean nothing. Because he met Jesus on the road
Amen.
to Damascus. When you want, meet the encounter. You'll forever be changed.
Amen.
And he tells him, that's the whole reason why I came. For people just like Zacchaeus. Y'all got it all wrong of why I came. I just didn't come to be a king, riding on donkeys, and people taking care of me. No, that's not the reason why I came. advocate for the sick, the outcast,
Yeah.
those who people had given up on life, and show them I have the power to change their trajectory.
Yes.
And that's what he did through the life of Zacchaeus. I'm all done.
Amen.
Y'all did a good job working with me today. Y'all did a good job working with me today. And I hope that you see it. I hope you see it different. I hope you see the life of Zacchaeus totally different, and we can apply it even to our lives. I know you had to because y'all messed up my sermon. You look at my notes, y'all just jacked it up. Y'all just jacked it up, and that's all right.